Hello there, people. It's Andrea Nemesis, and behind me is my office. Reason why I'm doing this video today is not simply to brag about all the things I have on my table in my loving office, which is my world and everything. It's also to read you a few lines from the book itself. So stay tuned and check out my YouTube for the full video of me reading the book. In a moment, guys. In a moment. Shall I begin? Again, I'm Andrea Nemesis, and I will be reading for you a passage from my book. Random passages, nothing in between. This is more of a world building or a little introduction into what my world is. Shall I begin? If legends are to believe, the origin of Sand Island is attributed to the gods, who in search of individuals ready to rise from something resistant seek the path to immortality. Together they broke the parts of the etheric energy that envelops the world and life in it, connected it and created a field for training abilities and desires of those brave enough to face the land. Every grain of sand is shrouded in magic, every form of monstrous life that calls it home. Everything on the island grows bigger, more arrogant, and more dangerous than anywhere else in the world. Although at first glance there is nothing, a red carpet of sand as far as the eye can see. If you have eyes accustomed to such darkness to see in it. To those without such a gift, it seems as if they have fallen into the wastelands of empty space somewhere in the middle of nowhere. It is not even possible to orient oneself with a sense of time. It is inverted and reversed in so many ways. Just when you think you have figured out where and when you are, magic surprises you, throws you in a sense of the past, of the uncertainty, or the uncertainty of the future. Nothing is safe on the sand of the island. Sound is almost non-existent. It comes with a delay, muffled by other sounds you haven't produced yet. You're gonna have to excuse me, I have a bit of a cold. Yet, one creature found a way to survive there, a vampire. Lords of darkness and shadow raised the city from the sand, fortified the walls with their mortal flesh and blood, forming a civilization far removed from the growing human threat. They adapted to life in the circumstances around them, not of desire, out of need. Again, bit of a cold. That's nothing about Halloween season, it comes with a cold. Worlds stopped being afraid of vampires, forgot about their strength and power. From a hunter, a vampire became prey. Left to die in a memory of a legend it once had. On the verge of extinction, last a vampire lineage gathered and left the world of humans. Led by one promising everything old world no longer offered. Pushed to live on their knees, destroyed fortifications and stolen blood. Offering something human race will never have, immortality and long life. Slaves to humans, sheep they once fed off. Any attempt to fight back would stifle an enemy they did not know how to defeat. Hunters specializing in killing creatures not born out of light. Living in the darkness, vampires have a gift so precious. Every creature that does not have it desires it. Not limited by years, by concept of passage of time. Messenger of death walks in their shadow but does not touch them. Those who chose to stay were hunted to the last. The old world no longer knows vampires. Blackthorn, last vampire fortress in the world. Walls built of black stone with veins of deep red from which light penetrates inside out, breaking the darkness enough so the monsters with which they shared the island prefer to keep distance. Wane of light spreads throughout the city. Vampires coexist to veins of dim light, absorbing the magic by living with it. There is no need for blood. They live surrounded by living blood of those who sacrificed everything they could give, their blood and flesh, so city would rise from the sand for those who entered behind them. Nothing unyoung is given. If you want something, you have to give something in return. Universal law, nothing is free. They wanted refuge. They paid for it with their lives. Red Throne is a prison, surrounded on all four sides by darkness that even the vampire's sight no longer penetrates. Trapped inside the city under the influence of the magic of comfort it provides. Red Throne vampires forgot to hunt, forgot what it means to listen to the soothing cries of dying humans, to feed on their suffering and pain, to master their own. Instead, they turned on each other, driven by old blood wars and revenge. Inside the walls, they have everything they need. Homes separated by long streets. Buildings that only a vampire can build so beautiful. 7 tall towers whose main function is to overlook the city and the largest standing army of vampires they have ever had. Vampires formed a social society, built on old rules as much as new ones, with strict regulation of them and a dominant tradition. Divided into highborn and lowborn, the two castes rarely socialize openly. If it happens in the shadows. This is generally my introduction to the world itself, so you can essentially see where the story begins. I do hope you enjoyed this short yet sweet video, and I will see you here soon, my dears. Don't forget, it's Octoberine. It's Halloween season, my favorite season of the year, and in light of that, I am essentially giving away 18 copies of my book on October 31st to the luckiest few who share. There's a post on the Instagram which you can share and get a chance to win your own copy. The entire book, I'm talking the entire book. 18. Why 18? Because it's that old. Really it is. I will see you here soon, guys. Do take care, and hope you enjoyed our little tea with the author. I will see you here soon, guys. Love you. Bye. Hello there, and back again. Me again. Who else? It's Andrea. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'll be reading from my book in light of my favorite season of the year. I'm seriously looking forward to it, and I can't wait for Halloween to go out like this. Again, we live in a strict country, so not strict country, but a bit closed country, so I can go out like this every day, but I can't wait. On Halloween, I can. So, to get back to the point of the video, I will be reading from a book, a little passage from, I think it's the 3rd or 4th chapter, I am not quite sure. I have a whole bunch of papers here. So, shall we begin? Deeper she went into the basement, the chaos and destruction grew stronger. Door to the well chamber passed already at the entrance of the basement, one of the 2 wings. The other Barry held on to the hinges. Touch was enough for it to fall too. Behind them, to her surprise, Cassandra was squatting in a corner of the large room. The wave did not even touch her. "What did you do?" Lilith asked. "The throne is mine. Father promised. No monster will take that right from me." Looking up, Cassandra almost screamed at her mother's sight and appearance. Apart from the voice, nothing of what she remembered of mother remained. Cromwell will never hand over the throne. Words the princess didn't want to hear. looking at her mother with deadly light in red eyes, the same ones her father has. One hidden behind long flowing hair, black in color, falling over her shoulder on a richly embellished silver-colored dress. Based on looks of it, Lilith could tell that not a drop of blood from the well had touched her. She was perfectly preserved. If he does not give it to me, I'll take it myself. Cassandra and Cromwell shared the same passion for power, the only thing they ever loved. Unlike them, Lilith was able to see other values, looking with an open mind to the world around her. At least it used to be that way. After the loss of the princesses, there was nothing of any value left. She walked slowly to the edge of the ground floor well, bordered by a slightly raised, square-shaped stone edge that stood in the center of the room. A compass, if viewed from bird's-eye view. On the stone floor, arrows engraved on each edge, each pointing in a different direction of 4 sides of the world. Lilith stared deep into the center of the well for a moment. You have to get rid of me first. Lilith looked up. Come on, finish your bloody march. You know you'll never have a crown on your head while it rests on mine. Blood level began to rise again, proving that Lilith was not as brave as she thought she was. She moved as far away from the entrance as possible. Repetitions of the awkward conversation appeared around them, stretched and accelerated at the same time, just in time for Cromwell to appear in the chamber too, in shock that they were both still alive. Blood stood on the verge of overflow. A hand reached out of it. Child's hand. All 3 clung to the wall, each to its own. Fear dug into his bones. The gods raised their weapons with the intention of using them on whatever demon Cassandra summoned by throwing her sister into the well. The silence took away the voice of all those gathered. Sound of dripping blood, only sound to be heard, dripping from the ceiling into the well. The other hand grabbed the edge as a blood-stained child emerged from the well. Cassandra, Cromwell, and Lilith recognized something recognizable on it. Dark violet hair and black eyes. That was the child Cassandra threw into the well. It returned it. Little older, but still a child. Physically, she could not be more than 5 years old. As lost as everyone, she looked around. Armed guards and their weapons, 3 distraught vampires. No one was sure if they wanted her. Cromwell slipped away. Cassandra pushed her way and ran with her father behind the guards. Even the one she could make out as familiar blood was not overjoyed to see her. She did not move or run away, but did not extend her hand. The only thing she did was the most important thing, protected her last offspring. Cromwell issued the order. Lilith reacted instinctively and stood before her own. Touch her and you will deal with me. Physically she looked old, but in this old grandmother there was still a lot of strength, a lot of strong vampire blood. Alliances with the most influential bloodlines gave her enough political power to be a rival Cromwell had never expected. One wrong move against her and the army rises to protect her. He could do anything. He couldn't do anything, at least not yet. She made them lower their weapons, turning to face the child behind her. Gave it a name, pronouncing it for the first time. Nemesis Adeliricus, Princess of Blackthorn. That would be it for a little bit of the insight into the book. Generally, just to let you know that there is a lot to expect from this book. It has many good sides. It's original in its own right, of course. well thought of, and I do hope you enjoy reading it. It is available for download. I should have an ebook ready in a few days, and don't forget, Go Get Funding campaign is still in full swing, and it would mean a great deal to me if you would help me finally get the book into its published form into your hands. So do take care, enjoy Oktoberbean, have fun on Halloween if I don't see you before, and I will see you here soon. And we are out. Love you guys.